Hello, everybody. I'm Jean-Charles from IDClick. I'm a French-speaking guy, so if you don't understand me, please raise your hand and say your accent is too strong, unfortunately. Today, I'm going to talk about retail media in-store and the difference with the online and mobile. We will try to understand the difference and the strategic implication for retail media network. I will first of all make sure that the difference are well understanding by you, and we will explain you the impact on the customers. And then I will give you some strategy. First, I will start with few numbers, because I think numbers are important for retail media network. Then I will show the difference between in-store and online mobile, and then I will give you a few advice. What is important is I would like to start to talk about me. Why? It's not because I have a huge ego. It's just because when I started IDClick, it was in 2006. I was 26 years old, and it was just the beginning of digital signage. And I start to create a retail media network in pharmacies, and I start with 5 pharmacies. So now when people said that retail media network is very hype and everyone wants to do it, yeah, okay, I'm doing it since 18 years now. So it's not really hype. I see more potential in data analytics and everything. But that's why it's important for me to just put the position of myself. So I have 18 years of expertise in retail media network, and especially in health and wellness industry. I have 2,400 pharmacies in France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Ireland, Germany, and USA. And I sold my company in 2017 to Strata Cash, which is the leader of the digital signage and monetization business worldwide. So I just want to start with few numbers, because it's really important to understand how it grows and now what's the point. Today, in 2023, it was 121 billion of revenues of digital retail advertising. It's now the new gold rush, and the customers is really what people are looking for. There is 20% billion revenue spent in retail media networks in Europe. The revenue is supposed to grow by 3 to 5 per year until 2026. And there is 30 huge retail media network in Europe. Tesco is one of them, of course, but there is plenty of others. What is important is that the budget who goes to retail media network now is not substitution, is reallocation. And so during my presentation, I will try to explain to you how I see it in the pharmaceutical network that I manage. So for example, in the pharmacy, the reallocated budget comes from trade marketing to retail media network. And some come from the commercial and advertising TV. So you have to understand that the advertisers now, they don't have an unlimited budget for advertising, so they have to reallocate. They cannot spend extra money. It's possible, but it's not a big chunk of the budget. So most of the time, they try to take it, at least in the healthcare industry, they try to take it from the trade marketing budget. Also, you can see on these charts that if you look at retail shoppers, it's a huge numbers compared to broadcast TV. So Walmart Connect, and Florian gave very nice numbers before. Walmart Connect has an audience much more important than Fox, NBC, CBS, or ABC. What does that mean? It means that when a shopper is in a retail store, it's much more impactful than when he's in his couch behind his TV. So sorry for the graph here, it's a little bit blurry. But you have to understand that the generation from, I would say, 18 to 49 still want to go to stores. We think that it's a digital native generation. Of course they are. They use to search, to watch TV, to watch videos, but when it's time to buy something, they want to go in store. And the best example, actually, and is what it said here, is Sephora. If you have the chance to go in Sephora Paris, on Champs-Élysées, you will see their flagship store. It's amazing. It's a mix of digital and physical technology. And the store is just full of young girls from 18 to 25 trying everything, playing with the digital installation, and then buying. So what I want to say with this slide is that Sephora is really in advance compared to competitors. But what I want to say is that the new generation is a digital native generation, but they still want to go in the store. And especially after COVID, they were traumatized, stay at home, they really want to go outside. So the store is the next gold rush for the advertisers. And online, I will describe later, but you will see that the difference between retail media network, online, and mobile, it's huge. And I think, and I believe, that retail media in store will be the next, the next success for the brand advertisers. So I'm going now to just make a quick comparison. So nothing really new for you, but I just want to remind, because it's important. In store, advertising are directly made and purchase are made. You influence the consumer decision at the point of purchase. Online, you're browsing, you're looking, eventually you go to Amazon to buy, but it's not sure. The intent of purchase is not immediate or strong. It's what Florian said before. When you're in store, you're there to buy. You're not there just to look around and see what's going on. Data and targeting. It's very important because in store, you can use the transaction of the customers to get some shopper inside. And eventually, you can also give instant promotion to the customer when he's at the cashing. Also, you can have a very highly targeted advertising and personalized. If you have a fidelity card and that the customer is using this card, then you can really target advertising according to his past consumption. Online, that's where the online is maybe stronger than the retail media in store. Why? Because, of course, they have all the data from your browsing and your behavior, and they can analyze much more faster than the retail media in store. But it's also difficult for them to let you buy something, Advertising, it's not linked to a store. As Florian said, it's Amazon who take a big part of the advertising budget, online advertising budget. So for them, it's easy, but for the other, it's not working. The closed-loop attribution is very important because now, when you're in store and you do an advertising, it's a very precise advertising. You can do it on special product, special placement, and so it makes totally sense for the customer that when he sees something, he can get it right away. And so it gives a clear return on investment metric, and it's very easy for the retailer to make measurement and data analysis. For the online and mobile, of course, the attribution is more complex because you cannot, unless for Amazon, but you cannot see if because you have an advertising or a banner, you cannot see and if you go to a store to buy it. And also, the advertising is not linked directly to a precise store. So it means you cannot follow or track if there is an impulse buy or not. Trust and brand safety is very important for me, and especially because I'm in the healthcare and well-being. When you do advertising in the point of sales, and especially in a pharmacy, it's really important for the brand to manage the communication, but also to manage when and where the advertising is displayed. And that gives more trust to the customers. Just to give you an example, in pharmacy, the pharmacists, they are not sales guys. They don't like to sell. They just deliver product. You came with your prescription, and so the screen is a way for them to interact with the customers. And the customers, because he see an advertising on the screen, he feel more comfortable to talk about the brand with the pharmacist. And the pharmacist, because the brand is on the screen, he said, okay, so that means this brand is well recognized because there is some advertising. And so there is a discussion where at the end, the pharmacist and the consumer are talking about a brand. And so that creates a real, how can I say, brand-safe environment. The brand is control, is not anything. On the mobile and online experience, maybe you can have advertising about, I don't know, Dafalgan or any pain relief product on a shoes web store. What does it mean? There is no link, you know. You're looking for shoes, and suddenly you have this advertising because of your cookies that you went to a new pharmacy. It's not a desirable context, as I said. And so it can harm the brand perception. What is good with retail media in store is that the brand is really at the point of purchase and relevant. And that's a very important point. Co-marketing opportunities. This is what I prefer because this is how I grow my business for 15 years in the pharmacy. It's very easy when you do advertising on screen that you can set up different marketing plan, which means you can have hand caps display, you can have eventually flyers on the counter, you can have a window shopping display. It's a full mix marketing plan that you can decide with the advertisers. And it's really important because when I start, the first advertiser, you know, the pharmaceutical group, they are very old school, I would say. You know, they don't take risk. They don't. They were doing radio and newspaper, and they look at me and they say, Jean-Charles, why you're putting screen behind the counter? There is no sense. And I say, yeah, okay, if you want, but maybe I can put a screen behind the counter, and then I can put a flyers on the counter, and then maybe I can put a stickers on the window shopping, and at the end, let's try to evaluate how much return on investment you have and how much product you sell compared to radio. And they say, okay, let's try. And my first customer actually was a German, it was Bayer. And he said, okay, Jean-Charles, let's try. I will buy 1 year of advertising on your 5 screens. And then at the end of the years, I will monitor how many products I sold and compare to the year before, and then compare to other pharmacies. I say, okay, let's make a deal. After 1 year, they decide to sign a contract with IDClick for 5 years in all of our pharmacies. They were increasing sales by 30%. The pharmacist was really happy because it creates an interaction between the consumer and the pharmacist. So it was a success, and actually that's how I start my company, because then Bayer said to me, okay, you have 5 screens, I want to buy 200 screens, and I want to put it in my 200 most important pharmacies that you have. And I say, okay, that's cool. I didn't have the money to pay the screen, so now Bayer is paying for it. It's still a customer now. It's one of my best clients, and I personally know the CEO of Bayer Belgium. And he said, Jean-Charles, you allow me, by using this strategy before everyone, you allow me to get some market share that now there is no other media that can help me that way. And this is why retail media in store makes a difference compared to online and mobile, because I'm telling you this story, but it was in 2007. So just think about it, 2007, maybe you got your first smartphone. It was the beginning of Facebook, just to give you a... So it was the beginning of online media, and everyone was talking about Bannier. Why, Bannier is the new El Dorado, eventually newsletter. And me, I was coming with my screen, and he said, it's interesting. So I'm very grateful to Bayer to have trust me for that. But now they are very in good position in Belgium. For online and mobile, you don't have co-marketing. It's not possible. You know, it's just banner and that's it. I'm going to talk about emerging format and innovation. So now in pharmacies, we have interactive display. So we have what we call decision tree. So it's a screen, touch screen. There is so many products in aromatherapy, phytotherapy, that we decide to create this interactive display where the pharmacist can go outside the counter and talk with the customer and say, okay, what kind of product in phytotherapy you want? And then it shows. And this interaction, again, make the store more relevant for the customers, you know, because when he's alone behind his computer, he's making his own research. With this kind of interactive display, the pharmacist is helping the customers to find the right product. That's why retail media in store is, again, very much powerful than online and mobile. Okay, online and mobile, you have new ad formats, but it's not integrated, and there is no shopping experience. Now we see some evolution with the AR expectation. I'm not using it in the pharmacies yet because, as I said, the pharmacy and the healthcare industry is a little bit old school, so it's a little bit too much AR. But I think in the next few years we will implement it. And what is also very interesting, it's a mobile notification that we can do, because now our screen are linked with sensor, and it's very easy for customers to receive promotion and everything on their mobile. So what is interesting is that retail media in store can use mobile to increase the discussion with the customers. So that's really easy. In-store media, of course, they are physically present in the store. So, of course, the reach is much better than online and media. But for mobile, what is interesting is that you have a broader geographically diverse reach. And it's totally the opposite of in-store media, because in-store media is just about being physically in the store. But in the store, you can have a direct engagement between your customers, and the return on investment of this engagement it's so important. I can give you numbers in pharmacies, but for an advertising, 1 month, I think the increase of sales is about 40% minimum, and I saw some 300, 350 increase of sales, so it's just amazing. Context and relevance, of course, in-store media is highly contextual, and you can adjust the advertising according to the weather, according to the news, according to anything you want, actually. You can also adjust the advertising according to your stock. It's very easy now with the technology. If you're running out of stock of one product, you can stop advertising and change to another product. It's doing automatically, actually. Online and mobile also, it's well personalized, but it's based on your browsing history. Okay, sometimes again, the difference is when you are in store, you're here to buy. You're not here to search, and that makes a real change for me. Targeting, of course, the in-store, when you do an advertising and you have the product below, the impulse buy is just amazing. So for me, it's much more powerful than online and mobile. But of course, with online, you have a long-term data collection that can give a better analysis of your persona. So that's where I think online is better than retail media in store at the moment, because there is new technology, especially deployed with the Strata Cache and work-based technology, where we are getting more and more data, in-store data. And this is going to change the game in the next few years. It's brand new, it's still new, and it's still difficult for a retailer to understand. They understand the screen, but this data analytics not yet. But in the next few years, you will see that this kind of technology will totally change the rules. And then we will have this algorithm also in store that can make even more powerful the digital signage solution. The conversion potential, of course, there is a higher conversion rate at the point of sales and immediate influence on purchasing decision. Online and mobile, yes, you have more ad exposure to purchase, and you have a better brand engagement, but still it's more difficult to buy because you have to look for the stores, only if you're on Amazon, of course. So the conversion potential is much more higher in retail media store. So, yeah. Yeah, so you can, of course, you can track customer interaction with display, but also if you have a fidelity card, you can track what they're buying. So it's much more easier for a retailer to propose on-purpose advertising. For the online and mobile, you have long-term data collection and algorithm who can predict consumer. So yes, the cost, that's the bad point of retail media in store. There is a very cost-intensive due to hardware and installation. This is amazing. But then you have an immediate return on investment. So what I do now when I deploy a new network is when I sell the concept, I start straight with a business case of how much revenue they will make on a 3, 5, even 7 years business model. So I give them the price, how much to sell the space, advertising space. I give them all the information and I say, okay, after year 2, most of the time they are break-even. So we have to convince them that it's a huge investment, but if you choose the right partner like StrataCash with the good technology and the good hardware, then you have a solution that can last for 5 to 7 years. So if you have the good hardware and software, then the return on investment can be done in 2 years easily. Some of my networks are break-even after 12 months, but this is huge network. That's why I think Tesco decided to implement 6,000 screens, because they know that after eventually 6 to 9 months, they will be break-even, you know. And some advertisers, I know that on my network, pharmaceutical network, some of my advertisers, like Bayer, sometimes they said, okay, Jean-Charles, you have a new network, 60 pharmacies, what's the cost? Okay, this is the cost. Okay, we will buy the hardware for you, but then we want to have the exclusivity on pain for 12 months and no other competitors. And so, you know, it's a way of making deal. If the point of sale doesn't have the cash to buy the hardware and software, then the advertisers can make it happen. It's business model that we can discuss, and that's where we're very strong at IDClick, because we do it since 18 years now, and we know we can understand what people want, what advertiser and retailer want. So to conclude, and it's perfect because I still have 3 minutes. Yes, I do believe much more in retail media network than online and mobile. I would say that online and mobile was 2010. Retail media network is 2020, 2030. The big retailers understand what's going on now, and there is a huge opportunity for brands to position themselves and to get new customers. You just need to find the right business model, the right approach. You need to define exactly your content strategy. So I didn't talk about content here, but content is just the key of everything. I just wanted to show now the difference and why I do believe in retail media in store. And I give you a strong advice, retail media, if you can jump in, do it now, because later it's going to be too late. Thank you.